Hi, good morning. We are on lesson 66. I just tried to listen to my own recording of it, the workbook ding with all the bells and whistles, the toning, chimes, bells. I don't know what's going on in the background, but anyways, sometimes that doesn't work for me to listen back to it that way. So I'm very thankful that I have the platform to just make another video. Yeah. All right. So anyways, it's a good Sunday. I hope you're having a good day. This is even longer than the last one. It's fine. What else do we have going on? I'm drinking tea. And I am loving A Course in Miracles. I really feel like I stepped over a point in my practice and in understanding what it's doing for me, and I'm loving it. I know. I tell everybody the first 30 days it's like a curse in miracles. Be prepared for it to shred your reality. But now that we're in lesson 66, my happiness and my function are one. I'm feeling it. All right, so that's what we're doing today. My happiness and my function are one. You have surely noticed an emphasis throughout our recent lessons on the connection between fulfilling your function and achieving happiness. This is because you do not really see the connection. Yet there is more than just a connection between them. They are the same. Their forms are different, but their content is completely one. So the ego does constant battle with the Holy Spirit on the fundamental question of what your function is. So does it do constant battle with the Holy Spirit about what your happiness is. It is not a two-way battle. The ego attacks and the Holy Spirit does not respond. He knows what your function is. He knows that it is your happiness. So there you go, kids. Be like the Holy Spirit. Don't attack back because you know the truth. All right, so today we will try to go past this holy, as WH, holy meaningless battle and arrive at the truth about your function. We will not engage in senseless arguments about what it is. We will not become hopelessly involved in defining happiness and determining the means for achieving it. We will not indulge the ego by listening to its attacks on truth. We will merely be glad that we can find out what truth is. All right. I should have brought my tea with me. Okay, so today, our longer practice period today has as its purpose your acceptance of the fact that not only is there a very real connection between the function God gave you and your happiness, but that they are actually identical. God gives you only happiness. Therefore, the function He gave you must be happiness, even if it appears to be different. Today's exercises are an attempt to go beyond these differences in appearance and recognize a common content where it exists in truth. So we're just gonna see it all as the same. All right. I also love that we are not going to engage the ego or indulge the ego by listening to its bogus attacks on truth. All right, we're just going to be glad we can find out what truth is. So begin the 10 to 15 minute practice period by reviewing these thoughts. God gives me only happiness. He has given my function to me. Therefore, my function must be happiness. Try to see the logic in this sequence, even if you do not yet accept the conclusion. It is only if the first two thoughts are wrong that the conclusion could be false. Let us then think about the premises for a while as we are practicing. So the first premise is that God gives you only happiness. This could be false, of course, but in order to be false, it is necessary to define God as something he is not. Love cannot give evil, and what is not happiness is evil. God cannot give what he does not have, and he cannot have what he is not. Little rhymey there, little Dr. Seussy there. All right, I won't go there. Okay, unless God gives you only happiness, he must be evil. And it is this definition of him you are believing if you do not accept the first premise. All right, so the first premise is that God gives you only happiness. The second premise is that God has given you your function. We have seen that there are only two parts of your mind. One is ruled by the ego and is made up of illusions. The other is the home of the Holy Spirit where truth abides. There are no other guides but these to choose between, and no other outcomes possible as a result of your choice, but the fear that the ego always engenders and the love that the Holy Spirit always offers to replace it. So that's breaking it down pretty simple. You have two guides, the ego or Holy Spirit. You've got two choices, fear or love. Thus, it must be that your function is established by God through his voice or is made by the ego, which you have made to replace him. Which is true? Unless God gave your function to you, it must be the gift of the ego. Does the ego really have gifts to give, being itself an illusion and offering only the illusion of gifts? Think about this during the longer practice period today. Think also about the many forms the illusion of your function has taken in your mind, and the many ways in which you tried to find salvation under the ego's guidance. Did you find it? Were you happy? Did they bring you peace? We need great honesty today. Remember the outcomes fairly and consider also whether it was ever reasonable to expect happiness from anything the ego ever proposed. Yet the ego is the only alternative to the Holy Spirit's voice. You will listen to madness or hear the truth. It's pretty powerful. You will listen to madness or hear the truth, ego or Holy Spirit. Try to make this choice as you think about the premises on which our conclusion rests. We can share in this conclusion, but in no other, for God himself shares it with us. Today's idea is another giant stride in the perception of the same as the same and the different as different. On one side stand all illusions. All truth stands on the other. Let us try today to realize that only the truth is true. Okay, so then in the shorter practice periods, which would be most helpful today if undertaken, holy fuck, twice an hour. Okay. All right, twice an hour. Use this form. This form of the application is suggested. So twice an hour, say, my happiness and function are one because God has given me both. And then in 30 minutes, remember to say again, my happiness and function are one because God has given me both. So there you go. Twice an hour. My happiness and function are one. My happiness and my function, ouch, that was loud, are one because God has given me both. It will not take more than a minute, and probably less, to repeat these words slowly and think about them a little while you say them. My happiness and function are one. Maybe not that slowly. Because God has given me both. All right, I need to push stop. I'll sit here all day with you. Lesson 66. My happiness and my function are one. Because God has given me both. God only gives me happiness. He has given my function to me. Therefore, my function must be happiness. My happiness and my function are one.